Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Football Ramble. Here we are. My goodness, we've just managed to pick ourselves up from the floor after what we just witnessed there for the draw of the 2026 World Cup that's happening next summer. I never seen anything like it. Jim, at times, words simply failed me.
Yeah, well, I'll try and pick up from that. I think everybody's been waiting very patiently. They want some words from us. So
I
thank you
can't-
to everybody who's been sitting there and kind of making us laugh in the comments. We had some technical gremlins, and we're up and running now. Thank you for your wit and your patience. We've been doing this show for a long time. We've been laughing at FIFA for a long time, even longer than that. Yeah. This tops anything they've done before in terms of just how straight up bizarre it was. It was just, it's hard to kind of process all of it. It feels like, and I very much expected it to be like this, the actual World Cup draw is sort of been forgotten about. It's a bit of a sideshow to such a bizarre set of events. So many different characters from around the world of sport and entertainment and whatnot. I think
and beyond,
and it was quite hard to keep track of all of them. So I've listed out everyone I could see. So yeah, I'll do a little recap here. I think it just makes sense to do it all at once. Show was opened by Andrea Bocelli. We're happy with that.
Yeah,
love to see that.
Yeah, that made you kind of think, okay, Nessun Dorma by the great Andrea Bocelli. Okay, you've got my attention.
Because at the start of the Euros, when it was all over the place, and they opened with him doing that in Italy, that was really stirring. That was rousing.
Did it for Leicester City when they won the league?
Of course, as well. It's got heritage.
Heritage.
Heidi Klum and Kevin Hart were the hosts.
Yeah, well, I have
Hollywood glamour.
Yeah, Defenstration FTW, forgive my pronunciation. Who of Marcus and Jim is Heidi Klum and who is Kevin Hart? I suppose just on height, I have to be Kevin Hart.
I suppose so. I'll happily be Heidi Klum.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah,
I think I'm glamorous.
Indeed.
I think I'm glamorous like Heidi Klum.
I'm also wearing a jumper like Kevin Hart was.
Yes.
In the ceremony, anyway.
Yeah, so a bit of Hollywood glamour from them. Hard to see as he was in shadow, but Phobos, the god of fear, was there as representative of the chthonic gods of the Greek underworld. From sport, we of course had Tom Brady, Wayne Gretzky, Aaron Judge, and Shaquille O'Neal doing part of the actual draw itself. Bit of further Hollywood glamour was added by the presence of Freddy Krueger. Robbie Williams and Nicole Scherzinger obviously duetted on the new FIFA anthem, which was just so like Hunger Games and kind of bland and weird and like vaguely threatening.
Yeah,
like when someone is trying to intimidate you by smiling at you is how that song felt. And sadly, there were some less savoury characters involved. As obviously, I'm pretty sure I saw Greg Wallace. So there's some really a real mix of characters there. And that's before we even get to Rio Ferdinand with his big gig.
Oh man,
Sadly, those children couldn't coach him well enough.
I think Wallace would have improved it.
Yeah,
that's how mad it was. Yeah, honestly, I'm still stunned, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Robbie Williams and Nicole Scherzinger. Okay, we know Rob Williams is going to sniff out the World Cup. He loves it, doesn't he?
And the thing is, this isn't Robbie's first taste of this particular biscuit, is it? Because he did a horrendous song called "Party Like a Russian" at the opening ceremony of 2018, and that was apart from the absence of Childish Gambino, as was pointed out in the comments, that was from one for the older listeners there. That was the main mad thing. Yeah. Robbie is the least weird thing now, easily.
Yeah, totally, yeah. I liked his suit. I mean, I wouldn't wear it myself because I don't think I could pull it off.
No, he looked fantastic.
But he did look great. So, I mean, I did think, where's Pitbull when you need him? But there we are. There we are. I would think that, absolutely. I mean, Dion Dublin, of course, on CoCom said, nobody does it like Robbie Williams. He's the best in the business. Yeah. Williams did Cole Palmer's celebration, of course, which we hope to see next summer.
Much so. From Cole Palmer, not Robbie Williams.
I'll take it from Morgan Rogers.
Yeah, or any of them. Exactly. Any Englishman.
But we've talked about some of the bells and whistles at this FIFA ceremony. What about Gianni Infantino himself?
The greatest of all the bells.
I mean, he seemed to be doing a bit of stand-up.
Yeah, there was a point where he was doing a sort of really tawdry kind of open mic technique of essentially, have we got any Americans in? Yeah. Have we got any Canadians in? And have we got any Mexicans in? And it was really just painful because the whole thing was set up to be like lighthearted and funny, wasn't it? And there were so many jokes thrown at that audience
Yes.
who are there for a serious purpose. Nigel de Jong is not there for a laugh. You know, they're all there to find out the very serious business of who they're going to play in the World Cup, which is a serious thing in all of their careers. And they just got the tone of it very wrong. And like, though I've done corporate gigs as a stand-up before, right? They are really difficult. Quite often it's a similar situation like that as well, where the audience don't want to be entertained. You are there as a sort of hindrance to them. They're essentially there to just get this out of the way, get to the buffet, whatever it is. It's a really, really tough gig, and I was delighted to see someone else go through it.
Especially him. At least he wasn't wearing trainers.
Yeah, of course.
So, you know,
as we discussed on an Uncut once, it is possible to make trainers look good with a suit, but it needs to be the right type of suit. It needs to be the right type of trainers. You need to put a lot of thought into it. It is not possible if you are Gianni Infantino.
I bet you a testy you can't think of a bigger prat than Gianni Infantino.
No, I wouldn't put a testy on the line like that. He's one of the most insidious prats alive today. He's an apologist for some truly horrendous stuff, and he's enabling a lot of terrible things.
Yeah,
he's oh god, he was so cringy as well.
Yeah. Coffee Goblin, wonderfully named, has said saving Pitbull for the halftime show in the final. I agree with old Goblin there. I think that's probably accurate. So we had all that. We had, as you say, Gianni Infantino getting the Americans in the room to chant USA, USA, and then the Canadians chant Canada, and so on and so forth, which was excruciating to say the least. Next on the agenda, though, was of course the main reason why we were all gathered there, or why everyone was gathered there, and we were gathered around our television screens. No, it wasn't the draw for the first round group stage of the World Cup. It was the presentation of the FIFA Peace Award. The FIFA Peace Award, which is now in our lives. I know we've campaigned for it, and amazingly and really unpredictably, it went to the President Donald Trump.
Yep, big day for Patrick Bateman's personal hero, Donald Trump. He gets the Peace Prize that he so desperately wanted. Why are they doing that? Like, is there a FIFA bake-off going to happen at halftime of a game at the World Cup?
It was at that moment where all of me just thought, bring back Sepp Blatter.
Oh, Blatter's been talking this week essentially about how much he hates Gianni Infantino, which is really funny.
Honestly.
And also, I've actually got a quote from him here. This will put the wind in your sails. When I was suspended by the FIFA Ethics Committee, I gave my mandate to somebody else, but I still have the mandate. I am still the elected president. Fighting talk.
Love that.
Fighting talk.
Get him back. I mean, like I said to you before, do you remember when we thought George W. Bush was the worst thing we could have?
Well, the silliest thing.
Silliest thing, yeah. I mean, since then, he's become quite likeable, I think.
In comparison, yeah, absolutely.
Well, so yeah, I think if Blatter can come roaring back at some point, then maybe we can get behind that. Doesn't seem to be any time soon, though. But when all's said and done, though, Jim, if you were going to give a FIFA Peace Award out, you have to give it to someone who has earned the right and
held a gun to your head and demanded that you recognise how peaceful.
Oh my goodness, I don't want to get too political, so let's simply move on. Let's move on from that, from all of our lives. We've got the memories. We've got that little video that precluded the presentation, which was
stunning, absolutely stunning.
Yeah, draw your own conclusions, but I'm sure we're all singing from the same hymn sheet there. And then, of course, we had a ceremonial draw just before the actual draw took place, where each host nation, or each leader of each host nation, came out. Of course, you had the presidents of Mexico and the USA, Donald Trump, of course, being the latter, and then Mark Carney came out as the Prime Minister of Canada. And I honestly thought that was the start of the draw. I thought, for crying out loud,
well,
thank goodness.
Sort of wasn't it? It was a little fake,
little
misdirect.
Yeah. But anyway, they did their thing and they buggered off, and then it was over, really, to Rio Ferdinand, who I'm sure he's now sitting by the bar having a stiff one.
How many FIFA-branded wet wipes do you think it would take to sports wash Rio Ferdinand?
How big are the wet wipes?
They're like regular wet wipe size.
Look.
You've got to do it.
He's a man on the. He's a man of the people. He's a man of the people.
So he said.
He says. We've got to say. Oliver Gallimore 3490 says, "Bring back Jack Warner." Do you know what, Oliver? I would have thought before any of this jamboree, you're absolutely crazy saying that. I'm on board.
Yeah. And-
I'm not joking. I am on board with that, and that's how low we have sunk in this ghastly mess that is world football.
The whole time I'm watching this, just thinking Chuck Blazer would have loved this.
Oh man,
Chuck Blazer and was it his dog or his cat that had a flat in the Trump Tower?
I forget.
Adjacent to his.
It was it was definitely a pet.
Some
of his.
animal that
It absolutely was. I mean, I want to read out a text from a message from Luke Moore if I can quickly find it. Infantino is one of the most sinister men in the world. Blatter just loved a good big lunch, luxury travel, and some old fashioned. I can't say that word, but
if you do your own, you probably won't get it wrong.
Creative accountancy, shall we say? This is sinister, and he's absolutely right.
Sinister, yeah.
Yeah, I really don't understand. Channel NEM or Channel NEM says Rio is after a Golden Globe / Oscar for his acting tonight. I mean, I thought he was upstaged by Matthew McConaughey, but Matthew McConaughey, he's an actor. Well, he's an actor, Jim. But even in that, Matthew McConaughey, I just thought, he's good, isn't he?
Yeah,
he is good.
Well, it shows. It's like the English actors they had in Squid Game. Where you go, the English speaking actors in Squid Game.
Dreadful.
Wow. But it makes you go, well, acting's hard.
Yeah.
Like, proper actors are really good at it.
That is true.
I've been lobbying for those actual actors, possibly characters, to be in every kind of prestige drama, so we can always go, oh, yeah. And Rio did feel a bit like that. I did feel sorry for him, because that is a massive, difficult gig to be thrown into. That. It's a very strange booking that isn't entirely his fault.
Gary Lineker did it before, didn't he?
Which is a great example of the kind of level of experience that it takes for a complicated presenting gig like that.
Yeah, whatever you may think of, I mean, of Lineker or him participating in this, World Cup former Golden Boot winner.
Yeah.
And obviously very, very talented presenter on wherever he presents now. It's not the BBC anymore, is it? But he should. Is he? No, he's not going to be back for the World Cup. Let's move on from Gary Lineker. But yes, that's the type of presenter. I mean, I thought in the end, bearing in mind the complications of the draw, I actually thought Rio did okay.
I think there were points where
in the end,
Johnson was coaching him. And telling him what to do.
Yeah,
I think that's a major flaw in a driving test. Isn't it?
Okay. I'm really, really trying to.
I know you are. He played for England, but he's a donut, and he presented as a donut will.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, look. So we had that, and then the draw was made. So let's get to the actual draw, because that happened. One could have been forgiven for thinking, is this? The game's gone. The game's absolutely gone. We've not got our game back
with it anymore.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, I miss that they should have had Charlize Theron for her performance for the 2010 World Cup draw when it was going to be in her native South Africa, because she got the tone right. She was sort of subtly taking the mick out of it, but being very professional at the same time.
Yeah,
and obviously, the FIFA bods, that would have gone under their radar, thinking, oh, she's doing a good job, but was hamming it up quite nicely. But there we are. So the draw happened, and it was... I mean, the complications of it were there to see.
Yeah.
It's slightly dissatisfying when you have one slot for 4 potential teams going in it. You've got the Intercontinental playoffs or the European playoffs. So you've got a few little placeholders there. So
the placeholders are. It's a shame, isn't it? But I suppose it needs to happen now so that the teams who are qualified can sort out their training bases and all the logistics of it, which I'm sure are absolutely huge.
Yes, indeed.
I think we'd all prefer it if it was already, but understandably, it can't work like that.
Understandably so.
I also don't love this new thing they're doing where the top 4 seeds are in theory kept apart until the semi-finals. As long as they win their groups, they will meet in the semis. And I think that's just... It's boring, isn't it? It makes it a bit more predictable. What's fun about that?
That is quite odd. I have to agree with you. I mean, it does help England in theory, but we shall see. So, where should we begin then, Jim? Should we start with England's group?
Yeah.
Group L, all the way down. Group L for LOL. England, of course, were drawn with Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. Croatia, England have played them, of course, in recent tournaments. We thought that was... Because when you see some of the team names, and these are quite exotic names and so on, you thought, Croatia, we're kind of used to playing them. But Ghana in there is quite a nice one.
Ghana's fun, isn't it? Yeah, I think Croatia and Panama, as you say, it's like... I'm not going to go as far as to say it's boring, but it does feel like, we've seen this before, and... I mean, Croatia are kind of like Belgium are to Wales for us. We seem to just attract them at every opportunity. And Panama, I'm going to stick my neck out and say that that's going to be a relatively comfortable game for England. And even so, we've seen that relatively recently as well. But Ghana is new. That's good. That's fun. I think England will be confident of winning that group.
Well, when England played Ghana at Wembley and Danny Welbeck came on, now obviously, he'd have to do quite a lot to get in the group. They booed him because he chose to play for England and not Ghana.
Well, let's remember that.
Yeah, so
Tuchel should have just those boos up on the dressing room wall somehow.
Picture of do it for Danny.
Yeah.
I mean, England. I think Croatia's. That's a difficult game. England are favourites. Hence, they are one of the seeded teams, of course. So Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. Harry Kane will be licking his lips with Panama because, of course, he scored a hat trick. One of the most fortuitous goals you will ever see.
Yep.
But it propelled him to win the Golden Boot at the 2018 World Cup. He'll fancy that again. So England are in there in the last group, as we say, L for last. I think again, you're never going to get a ridiculously easy group because of these are the best teams in the world. But of course, with that extended World Cup to 48 teams, you're thinking the groups might be a little bit. There's maybe one or two more gimmies in there. But I think that Group L that England are in right now, that could have been from a previous World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think. And as you've already mentioned, that Panama were in there as well. We turn our attentions, though, to the Bonnie Scots. This was so predictable for me.
Yeah.
Not World Cup 98 vibes for Scotland here. They're in with Brazil, Morocco and Haiti. And, of course, they were in with Brazil and Morocco in the 1998 World Cup, which was the last time they were drawn. I wondered if they were going to get Norway as well to complete it. But when the draw was happening, I was saying, Scotland are going to be in here.
Yep.
I don't think there's any group that you can really say is a group of death. Maybe that's the difference between a 48-team World Cup and a 32-team World Cup.
Yeah.
And definitely a 24 World Cup, but you're going back donkey's years.
And those narratives will emerge, right? They naturally do. It's never necessarily how you expect it will be at the start.
Yeah. I mean, Group E, Germany, Curacao, Ivory Coast, Ecuador. That's
a tasty one.
A bit on the tasty side. Maybe Group I is the group of death, with France, Senegal, and Norway. And then obviously it's determined who's going to come through that playoff. I think Group I, actually, I've rode back on that. I was desperate for England not to get Senegal after they did what they did to us in Nottingham, of course. I'm still not over that. But I would like to think England have improved since then. But anyway, happy to avoid them.
France, Norway is tasty.
Yes.
That is going to be brilliant.
See, if that was in qualification, Norway would be looking at that at 4 points. But it's not in qualification, is it?
No.
It's in the World Cup proper. So Group C, Scotland in with Brazil, Morocco and Haiti. They're opening games against Haiti.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they'd take that.
Absolutely.
Although those old enough to remember World Cup 90 in Costa Rica. But then that was a 24-team World Cup, and if you're qualifying, you're a decent side. But nonsense aside, remember that the 8th best third-place teams go through from the groups, because you've got an extra round in this World Cup. So, I mean, as if it's not tiring enough as it is in that heat as well.
It feels like a real complacency trap, that, though, doesn't it? You've got to be very careful not to sort of mentally lean on that too much.
Yes.
And this is a group where, just if you don't get that result against Haiti, which I think Scotland will, then you're really up against it.
Flux Deluxe 1 is saying McTominay is lobbing Alisson from the halfway line and baiting Bruno into a red card.
I mean, everyone's doing that lately.
Yeah,
they're playing on the brain.
Yeah,
I love it. Hopefully that trend will still be in full flow by then.
Angus 6144. Come on, the Bonnie. Come on, the Bonnie. That's all he's got to say there. I think. I mean. With Scotland in that group, just got to get off to a winning start there. You get that, and I think
they will. And can you imagine what that's going to be like?
Well, that's it.
The expectation and the joy at that point.
Totally. Your first game is so crucial, because those 3 points, 4 points, is a huge step to qualifying for the next phase. I know I'm kind of talking Scotland down here, but they're going to be second favourites against Brazil, and you would say Morocco as well. Morocco went all the way to the semi-final. I know that'll be 4 years prior to this World Cup, but they're still a very, very good side. Sorry, Oscars, Ray 3545. Thank goodness the Scotland discussion is about who England want to avoid. Well, we moved on from that, but I think Scotland, they'll look at that and they'll think, okay, Haiti. That is a chance to get a win there.
Yeah, and I think they can, obviously
Yeah.
Brazil, they're going to be massive second favourites against as well. But I think, why not look at Morocco and go, you know what, we've just got to bloody the
Well,
noses here.
Yeah, totally.
Even a draw.
But the thing is, though, playing Brazil at a World
It's
Cup.
amazing.
Come on.
It's what you want, right?
Come on.
The 5 times winners.
Yeah, exactly.
I know we always say that Mexico are the most World Cup team, but it's actually Brazil, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
totally.
the most glamorous thing.
Yeah. I think that's I think it's a draw that captures the imagination because Haiti is again, it's the other side of the world. Morocco, partially because of what they did in the previous World Cup, but I think again going back to '98, Scotland they beat Scotland. Was it 3-0 off the top of my head? They effectively put them out of the tournament. They owe them one for that.
They do.
And of course Brazil, it
It's
doesn't
a great
really
group. It's a great World Cup group.
Yeah.
There's 4 continents represented on it.
Yes, indeed. I mean, Tom Hines 43 or Tom Hins 4380 says Scotland's group on average seems easier than England's group. I'm not sure I agree with that. I mean,
no, there's no
purely,
Brazil in England's group.
Yeah,
Unless
I mean,
you count England as Brazil, but we're not playing ourselves.
Well, England
I
are the
don't think you
seeded.
do
No,
count
I don't
England
think you
as
do.
Brazil.
England are the seeded side, of course. Old Oscar says I'm fucking buzzing for Brazil again. Get John Collins on to get the penalty. I mean, that would be nice. So I think I think that's a really, really good group for Scotland. Excuse me. What about Group A? Mexico in there with South Africa, the Korea Republic, or South Korea, as we affectionately call them here, Jim. And then you've got one of the European sides from the one of the playoffs will go into that group. What did you make of that one? Because that's got a lovely World Cup vibe about it.
Oh, massively, yeah. Again, because it's so truly global, isn't it? I mean, Mexico, one of the hosts, as we've mentioned, one of the most World Cup teams. South Korea feel like that as well. They're a mainstay and they're always very enjoyable. I guess South Africa, previous host as well. There's a lot of heritage here. I think this is going to be a really fun one, actually.
Yeah, and also we are going to see a repeat of the first game at the 2010 World Cup, which was South Africa hosting Mexico. Mexico will now host Bafana.
Played the long game, haven't they?
What a game.
Remember us?
Well, it was a 1-1 draw in that game. 2 lovely goals, particularly the South Africa one. And that's what we want at this World Cup. Yeah, he won't be there. And if he is, my goodness, I'll have whatever he's drinking. I mean, Canada as well, let's be honest. Switzerland have played a blinder here, haven't they? Group B, Canada, one of the European playoff sides, Qatar and Switzerland. Switzerland are a decent side. I think any team wanted Canada in their group, didn't they?
Yeah, maybe. But
is that disrespectful to Jesse Marsh's men?
I think hosts are always tricky, though, right? Or have the potential to always be tricky. I guess that's changed over time.
The aforementioned South Africa.
Well, indeed, yeah. I think probably of the host, Canada are the one that you would want the most. But it's a tricky group. Potentially for whoever comes into it. I think Qatar you would expect to kind of be able to overcome, I would think. I know they won the Asian Cup.
Yes. Well, I mean, it could be Wales, it could be Northern Ireland, it could be Italy, it could be Bosnia-Herzegovina, just to make sure all bases are covered there. Yeah. I would love it to be one of the UK sides, of course. If it is Wales, then Craig Bellamy will have got his wish. Because Wales, of course, played Canada in Swansea back in September.
Yeah.
And Craig Bellamy wasn't best pleased with the way Canada celebrated, to the point of he said, I see them celebrating at the end, and I'm like, I hope I see you at the World Cup. I hope I see you again. Come on!
There he is.
There's the man.
There is a golf club running through that man like a stick of rock. I hope that you've said he's got his wish there. I wonder how many revenge-based wishes Craig Bellamy has. I imagine it's a lot.
Ooh, I mean, I think they are fewer now than what they were when he was a player.
But harder to act on. So probably a bit more intense.
That's very, very true. So if Wales do qualify, or Northern Ireland indeed, it would be lovely to see one of them there. That would be the group they would be in, of course. It would be quite tricky, though, for the host Canada if Italy were. But I mean, I think any team, though. I mean, Italy, the reason why Italy are in the playoffs is because, they were hammered by Norway, for crying out loud. So I don't think Wales have got anything to be scared about, or indeed Northern Ireland, who play them. Of course. But in that Group A, I should say that... yes, in Group A, I should say that could be where Ireland finish. They've got to get the better of Czechia and then Denmark or North Macedonia. So if Ireland were to get to the World Cup, they would be in Group A with Mexico, South Africa and South Korea, which again... we just talked about that group. it wouldn't be the worst. It's a real carrot that's dangled in front of Troy Parrott. Troy Parrott wants to grab the carrot.
A carrot for Parrot.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean that again. It's a really, really fun group to go into. It's also one where everyone's tricky, but no one's Brazil.
Yeah,
So that's one where you think, you know what, if we just turn up and give a good account of ourselves, we might sneak through there.
Yeah.
Again, especially with some of the third place teams going through. I know that is the complacency trap we've spoken about, but yeah.
But it's still there. It'd be nice to see Ireland back in North America in a World Cup as well.
Yeah.
Sweating their what's off like every other team, particularly England will be doing as well. Thoughts of Bravery has said, Irish fans in Mexico. Oh, lovely time. The tequila will be flowing, I'd imagine, if that was the case. If Ireland get there, we may need to give John Aldridge a bell to save us from the Mexican heat. That's John Hurley there, 3777. The weather.
Yeah.
The weather.
Well, it's not going to be every game, is it? There will be later games that hopefully won't be as bad.
When you say later, like what, in like October?
No, I mean like sort of later in the evening when the sun isn't quite as high in the sky and quite as...
It's gonna be tough.
Brutal.
It's gonna be tough. It really is.
I mean, Thomas Tuchel is talking about keeping the substitutes in the dressing rooms, isn't he? I mean, that actually seems like a really practical solution to the whole thing. So it's going to be an interesting one.
Mauricio Pochettino's people, the US of A, of course, are in Group D with Paraguay, Australia, and potentially Slovakia, Kosovo, Turkey, or Romania. Not a terrible group for the US.
Run me through them again. I've already forgotten the teams that were in there.
So the United States of America, Paraguay, Australia.
Oh yes,
and some European
Someone
sides.
else. Yeah,
Some European.
That's a really World Cup group. That's really enjoyably global.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Have Paraguay and Australia ever had a reason for beef? We don't know.
No.
Maybe this will be it. That's one of the things that's so brilliant about it.
They do beef well, I think, both of the countries.
I would think so.
Yeah, it's just because maybe they're English-speaking nations, but the US and Australia, that's an interesting game. I don't think any team in that group will be scared of another side.
No. I once had an Australian flatmate. She told me she met an American tourist in a walkabout who thought Australia was part of California.
Yeah, chance to prove
chance to put themselves on the map. By the way, we're not part of you.
Do you think in the Oval Office they've got like one of those old maps that doesn't include Australia? I can't find this country. There. Where is this? It's Australia. We don't know. We don't know where it is. It just appeared. Moving on from that, Group F, Netherlands versus Japan. That one is as Fire Solution 2221 says, it's tricky. It's tricky. Netherlands and Japan, that feels World Cup-y to me.
It does.
That feels
the Shogun Derby.
Yes, that feels potential. 2-2, 3-3, 3-2 goals, I'm thinking, Jim, on that one.
Are you basing that on Virgil van Dijk's current performances? That might be if he takes that form to the World Cup, that'll be delightful.
Maybe I subconsciously am.
Yeah. Well, that'd be a big win for Pete, wouldn't it?
It'd be a huge win.
Japan.
It would be
getting one over on Virgil van Dijk.
Oh yes, I think so. There's certain fixtures that you look at and you think, yeah, that's what it's
fun.
I mean, in Group E, when Germany play Ivory Coast, I'm thinking there's something tasty about that. I mean, Ivory Coast, I remember when they first qualified for the World Cup. And off the top of my head, was it in 2006 they first qualified? Forgive me if that's wrong. It was definitely in the noughties. And they were in such a humdinger of a group. They were in with Argentina and the Netherlands.
Yeah.
They were their opening two fixtures in the World Cup. And they had such a great side. And I think they lost both games 2-1 and did really well. But they were out. Because in those days, that was it, of course. You lose your first two games. And 99 times out of 100, that's you gone. And then in 2010, they were in an absolutely shocking group as well with, was it Portugal and Brazil? So I feel that, again, with Ivory Coast, yes, that it's not the golden generation that obviously they had before. But they're one of those sides, particularly an African side, where you remember some of the names from the past. And they've had some sort of recent success with, a recent African Cup of Nations win and so on. And you think, yeah, that's lovely to have them back in there.
Yeah.
And Ecuador as well, though. I mean, Ecuador... I was in the country, Jim, when they first qualified for a World Cup.
Wow.
Saw the scenes of celebration
Amazing.
around Quito. Yeah, it was very good. I bought a replica top, which made
Did
me.
it make it home?
It did make it home, actually. Yeah, I felt like I fitted in for about 3 seconds, and I was just like, "What on earth am I doing here?"
Yeah, I'm not Ecuadorian.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to commit to this.
You know what? But everyone still, we were all slapping high fives.
Yeah.
But Ecuador,
They're a fun team.
they're a tasty team.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good group. It's one of those ones where, because obviously Curacao are the other team in that group, and you look at that, and in some ways you go, oh, they've got some tough games in there, but like Curacao aren't going to win the World Cup. Nobody in that team thinks they are. It is about these sort of fixtures for them, right?
Yes,
and
well,
them testing themselves, and this is brilliant.
Hussam Sultan says you can see Germany dropping points against Curacao. Yes, that's the spirit. We can dream.
Fuck them.
Yeah. Well, they got the big dick advocate in charge.
Well, indeed.
The man knows his way around the German football team. That sounds weird. He knows his way around an upset, and the fact is that Curacao are in there, which is wonderful stuff. So the World Cup juices are flowing, Jim, aren't they?
You're forgetting about all the other weird stuff at the ceremony, now, aren't you? Just looking at the names of the teams.
Oh man, I can't believe, right, that Heidi Klum, obviously she looked great in a very shiny dress. Rio, nice double-breasted jacket.
Yeah.
Who else did you have? Gianni Infantino, looked very pristine. Donald Trump in his suit.
He didn't. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't look.
He looked like a slimy.
It was a
just,
slimy
like,
slug,
monster.
but I'm sure it was an expensive suit.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'd say Robbie Williams, I think, his pop star best looked great. So did Nicole Scherzinger. Kevin Hart wearing a jumper.
Yeah.
Poor.
It's just a little money goblin, isn't he? So like, how much is enough, Kevin? There was a point where he made a joke, like pitching to Gianni Infantino for work when the tournament starts. It's like, you do enough work.
Oh dear. I think you turned to me and said, how much is enough, Kevin?
There is no amount that's enough, it would seem.
Oh, what is he doing? Come on. Yeah. Anyway, Group G. Belgium are in there. They're in there with Iran. I wanted Iran again. They gave us 6 goals last time.
See, I differ from you on that. I know that you want to just smash everybody and get out of the group and then charge towards the final.
Call me old-fashioned.
Yeah. You want to storm the capital of Group L and just get out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad to have. I prefer not to meet teams we've seen too many times before.
Okay, fair enough. But Egypt are in there as well. On Mo Salah's current form, I don't think they'll be too worried, will they?
Nah,
No.
that's an interesting group as well, because obviously Belgium you would think will win that, and Egypt you would expect would be the second team, but Egypt kind of can flatter Egypt can flatter to deceive quite a bit on the international stage, right? I know they've won the AFCON a lot, but they've also been heavy favourites to win it a lot and have just kind of disappointed. So I think that's a chance for Iran and New Zealand to look at that and go, you know what? Maybe we can sneak out of the group here.
Well, maybe they can. I mean, we'll certainly find out how they're good at African Cup of Nations stuff in the coming weeks. Group H, Spain in there with Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia and Uruguay. Uruguay's a nice one.
Yeah, that is a tricky old group if you're Cape Verde or Saudi Arabia. Obviously, Saudi Arabia beat Argentina in the last World Cup, so they've got a bit of pedigree when it comes to causing upsets. But you
that'll teach Argentina, won't
it? Yeah, well, that spurred them on to go and win the World Cup. Obviously,
battle and war leap to mind. Now we've got a message here from James Cross 8967. He says, "I live in Mexico. It'll be the coolest of the 3 countries," and he's talking about the temperature rather than the vibes. And he says the summer heat. The summer here is April, May, start of June, late 20s, early 30s, but not super humid. Okay. Well, that's news to me, James, but I'll take your word for it. You're the one who lives there. So we're going to find out. Went all Brucey there. We're going to find out tomorrow, of course, a little bit more about the fixtures and the timings and all that kind of stuff. We've already mentioned Group I, France, Senegal, one of the intercontinental winners, and Norway. That's a tough group.
Yeah,
that's a tasty one because
it is.
We know Senegal are decent. France are obviously the seeded team, and Norway can really do something at this World Cup.
Yeah, well, I think we're all excited about Norway. I'm glad they've got a test in the group as well. As fun as it would be to see them just kind of, essentially as the favourites in their group. The way the seedings work, that was never likely to be the case. And France is a big. It's kind of a shame it's a European team, isn't it? As the other like. Big,
no, it's
team.
not another European side. I think it would be one of the intercontinental.
Oh no, I meant that like France are the big.
I
sort
see.
of test of Norway.
Oh, I see what you mean.
From
Yeah.
those pots, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
But this is everybody's kind of. I suppose second priority in terms of the narrative of the tournament, right?
Quite
You want to
possibly.
see how your own team gets on, but there is this Norway team it's freakishly good, kind of out of nowhere. Is this the
Belgium? Are they the new Belgium?
They absolutely are, aren't they? This is, but I think this is a more golden generation than the Belgium's golden
Oh,
generation.
I don't know about that,
But
Jim.
Haaland though. Belgium didn't have a player that compares.
They had
to
Kevin
that.
De Bruyne.
They did, but I don't think it's on the same
I
level.
think Belgium had a better side across the board.
This is the best striker in the world.
Yeah,
He's a goal machine.
he is a goal machine.
And international tournaments, they can be quite straightforward, right? Get the ball to the big lad up top is not a bad. It's not a bad strategy in a lot of games, and I'm excited about them.
Norway obviously haven't been in the World Cup since 1998, much like Scotland. Well, Tockel Ticker has said Egypt have never won a game at the World Cup when you were talking Egypt up.
Yeah.
But we're talking Norway up. And it's been a long time since they've done anything at the World Cup. I mean, they did beat Brazil in that World Cup. It doesn't count for anything, old Tockel. But your point is fine. I mean, we also said Tockel Ticker's come straight back saying Norway are very, very weak. Scotland would beat them.
Norway are very, very weak.
Not sure that's the case.
Where are you from, sir?
Pelon Nutsack has said, better hope England don't play in Texas, especially Houston, 90 to 110 degrees and humid. If you're more au fait with Celsius than Fahrenheit, trust me, that is bloody hot.
Yeah, I mean, that is something we're not factoring in when looking at the teams. Obviously, we all know that England are going to struggle in that sort of heat, but yeah, actually, that is a leveler, right?
Simple equation, if you want to get to Celsius to Fahrenheit, which is pretty accurate, double it and add 30.
I see.
Do the reverse if you want to go from Fahrenheit to Celsius, and do your own maths, because after that that ceremony, I can't add two numbers together, quite frankly. Right, we've got a couple more groups to talk about. Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. Lovely to see Jordan in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What can they do? Are they going to get Ari Redknapp back for it?
I would be very surprised if between now and then that would happen.
Surely we've got some sort of, I mean, it's not going to be him and them, but some kind of journeyman manager usually pops up at the tournament in the last minute. There's a bit of disarray as somebody goes.
Could happen.
I'm just saying, the big Sam Allardyce is waiting in the wings. This is his chance, as it is every time, of course. But nice to see Ralph Rangnick and Austria in there.
Yeah, he was at the ceremony, obviously, as well. It was, one of the many people we were spotting in the dark there. Yeah, I mean, they've been very good in qualifying as well. They'll be looking at that as a kind of, doable group. It's not a group of death, is it? So
it's not a group of death. It's but they've got some tricky fixtures. Always tricky. I think tricky is the word, isn't it?
For all of the groups. Football's hard.
I mean, is Uzbekistan a tricky opponent for Portugal in Group K? Because I'm pretty sure Roberto Martinez raised a little wry smile. But Colombia, though, Jim. Colombia.
That is a battle, isn't it?
Yes.
It's always a battle.
Yeah, I think Portugal-Colombia is a lovely one. That's World Cup.
I feel like
that's classic World Cup.
I feel like John Duran might get a hat-trick against Uzbekistan and put himself in a good position to be the top scorer of in the World Cup. I just feel like I had a vision there. I can see that happening.
Okay. A few more comments, by the way, coming through. Belvardo says, England playing in Toronto would be a bonus weather-wise. Absolutely. Totally agree with that. The Bruxter says, the Texas stadiums are indoors. Would that make it hotter? Air conditioning would be needed to work in overdrive.
Yeah, I imagine they'll have thought of it.
I think they'll probably have the roofs open, though. Would they not? Who knows? Maybe we'll find out tomorrow when we've got all the gubbins that are going to come our way. We got more World Cup stuff tomorrow, haven't we? I don't know if there's a whole
Which is why
ceremony.
We are going to be continuing the stream for the next 3 days.
After leaving you waiting, we owe you that much at least. Right. I'm looking through some of your comments as well. Not going to say that one, and I think I'm going to go back to the groups. Group K, as I say, Portugal and Colombia you would fancy would be favourites, obviously one of the FIFAs. And then we come all the way back to England, of course, in Group L for last and not least. So how are you feeling generally, Jim? We've got the draw under our belts. We've seen Robbie Williams and Nicole Scherzinger perform. We saw the Village people finish it all off, of course. And Gianni Infantino is the real winner. Yeah,
I feel sort of baffled by it. The Village people was interesting. Want to sort of explain a few things about the situation with them to you. So the YMCA has been a sort of favourite of Donald Trump for a long time, and that's meant it's become a bit of a MAGA anthem, which means it's kind of got a bit of a second life on streaming, and they're presumably making quite a bit of money out of it.
Yes.
And they want to protect this new revenue stream. So Victor Willis, who's one of the singers in the Village People and wrote the lyrics for YMCA, said last year, "Come January 2025, my wife will start suing each and every news organisation that falsely refers to YMCA, either in their headlines or alluded to in the base of the story, that YMCA is somehow a gay anthem, because such notion is based solely on the song's lyrics, alluding to illicit activity for which it does not." The album that is from was called Cruisin'. He is like, it's so funny. He's just like essentially going, Trump doesn't know that this is like a gay anthem, does he? He can't find out. He cannot find out. We are coining it in. He's gone on the offensive with that. Really, really funny, really strange. But how am I feeling about it in general? I've never been so confused by a World Cup, really, because you have to look back to the amazing scenes in Ireland's game and in Scotland's game in the qualification to remember how important the World Cup is to people, and what a brilliant thing it can be, and the absolute adrenaline hit of feeling that it can give you. And I'm excited about that part of it. Part of me keeps thinking, I'm not sure I'm looking forward to this World Cup in the way that I have previous ones, because I think it's a cumulative effect of how Qatar was and how Russia was as well, and how you constantly think, God, some of the worst people have truly got their claws into football, and it's only getting worse, and it becomes kind of more and more draining. But we all know what it's like when you get there. The tournament's amazing. Both of those tournaments I've just mentioned were brilliant. So I'm looking forward to it, but I expect my excitement to arrive like later.
Yes. Could it arrive in the quarterfinals? Because if Portugal and Argentina win their groups and then win their games in the round of 32, because we have that extra round in there, we'd potentially get Ronaldo versus Messi in the quarterfinals.
Do we want that now? Might that just feel like a bit late?
Be a bit of a throwback, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah.
But my goodness, all eyes would be on it.
It would. They would.
Yes. Defenstration asks, how drunk is Jim?
No, it's completely sober. Yeah, sorry, I promised earlier to get really drunk.
But you watch that ceremony, it just does things it gives you emotions that I've never had before.
Yeah.
So maybe the resulting thing
is just confusion. I think.
Is it just confusion?
Just a lot of confusion.
I know, but I've known Pete Donaldson for this long, and I've never had that level of it, I suppose. I just don't know. I think we're coming into land here, everybody. We must go home to our homes and have a good old lie down, I think, after that World Cup ceremony. But look, very exciting to see the World Cup draw. It's now, you wait 4 years for this beautiful tournament to come along. And I know Infantino is a dreadful piece of work. And I know, yes, absolutely, Flux Deluxe and Defenstration. What about Childish Gambino? I wasn't there. Pete Donaldson's disappointed again. We've had all that nonsense. But when you see some of the ties, when you see who England are playing in their group, or your respective teams, it gets you going, doesn't it, in a way, And before that, we've got Christmas. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, which is like the World Cup.
Yeah, you got Christmas, Valentine's Day, Easter,
May
Day, if that's more your cup of tea. Pancake Day. Never forget Pancake Day. We've got all of that until the World Cup comes along in North America next year. Oh, man. Why did Kevin Hart wear a jumper? Thanks for joining us, everybody. We're back on Monday with Luke to react to all the Premier League action and much, much more. And I'll tell you something. The comments he was making on our Ramble WhatsApp group about that ceremony.
Yeah, he's got some things to say.
It's just as well he wasn't here, because we would have never ever got to some of these ties that we've just been talking about, which have captured our World Cup imagination. But I'm sure that he will have more to say on this, and I'm sure we will too, on Monday at the Football Ramble. So make sure that you get that in wherever you get your pods, or indeed at this very YouTube channel you can watch us here doing it there. So thank you so much to everybody who commented. We really appreciate it, especially while you were waiting for the live stream to go up. You really did have us lolling away with some of those comments. Really do appreciate it. Not John Wayne not John Wayne Legacy just simply says one word. It's what Mark Lawrenson said famously. I'm not going to say it, but we appreciate you. We see you. We We see all of you. We see all of these comments. we absolutely love it. Channel Them says, I am drunk as I took a shot for every incorrect pronunciation of Gretzky. Fair play to you, sir. Wonderful stuff. AD Booth, I don't know if that's you who used to manage Watford. Every day is pancake day, so it should be. It can be used as a savoury or indeed a sweet snack. Get your pancakes in. Have a lovely weekend. Get your pit bull on. He wasn't there, but I'm sure he'll be there when the tournament comes around. If not, then we're all going on strike. Absolute pleasure. Come on, England, and all the teams that you support. See you Monday for the Football Ramble. He's been Jim Campbell. I've been Marcus Speller. Good night. God bless.